good, YouTube? Lord Fred here. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some tips and guidelines for learning the handstand. First and foremost, I'll let you guys know that I'm going to break this down in parts because there's so many things I feel like I need to cover and I don't want to rush through this video, so I'm going to hit every detail for the beginners, for those of you who can't stand at all, don't have any foundation whatsoever, all the way up to the advanced for the people who maybe just want to learn how to get a cleaner handstand or maybe work on some reps. So I'm going to break this down, I think, in about 4 parts or maximum 5. So this is going to be part 1. I'm going to talk to you guys about the beginning stages of learning the handstand, what I did to learn the handstand. So these are not tricks or tips that I picked up from other people. These are things that I actually went through to learn the handstand. So I'm going to show you guys step by step what I did. Alright, it's important to know that it's not only about building the necessary strength to do this move, but also you need to have the range of motion and mobility in your shoulders as well as your wrists. So it's just as important to get some dead hangs in, do some shoulder rotations, and do some things on the floor to warm up your wrist so that you can get more fluent through the move, because some of you guys might already have the strength in your triceps and your shoulders to stand, but you're lacking the mobility to actually lock out and get the move straight. So I want you guys to go through your rotations and your working on your wrist flexibility. So I'm going to show you guys a few things that I do to get my shoulders warm before I start. So bear with me, guys. My first tutorial, so I might be all over the place. Just bear with me. So this is one of the things that I do. If you got like a bar, like this is a curtain rod that I found from around the house, so you just grab something like a bar, something like this. At the gym or something, they got like a wooden bar, and you just go over your head like so. Nice and easy. And over time, as you start to get a little bit warm, you bring in the space and go over and back, bring in the space. So get it as tight as you can. You'll want to stop here one time and do a little bit of a stretch here. Alright, that's one rotation. The other one I do is grabbing it like so, wrist facing down like this. Then we're going to go in reverse. And the same thing, tighten the grip and go over and back, nice and easy. Alright, so then you can mix it up also, do some single arms one at a time. Alright, so those are a few shoulder things that you can do. Obviously, if you don't have a bar, you can also do some dead hang, or if you don't have a straight bar to use, you can jump on the pull-up bar and do some dead hangs like so. Let's see. So I just jump up there and hang, head through. So you don't want to hang like this. You want to get the full range of motion and open up your shoulders. So get your head all the way through and just hang. A bit of bouncing. Then you can also reverse the grip and just hang. Alright. Those are quick things that I do to open up the shoulders. Now we're going to cover the wrists really quickly. So, for the wrist, some of the things that I do. Pretty simple. And go the other way. And you get some different variations. So grip the other way, stretch backwards. You can also stand up, get more pressure on it. Do a light push-up, full pressure. And also this grip. So this one might be a little bit hard for some of you who are not used to it, so just stay on your knees. And what you want to do is just lean forward and back. Then ultimately, when you get really comfortable, you can stand up and do a full push-up. Okay. Rotations, basic stuff, nothing special. Just want to get them nice and loose, get some blood flow. Okay. Alright, so those are some quick things that I do for my shoulders and my wrists to get warm. I'd say do each for about, you can spend a good 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes on the shoulders, 3 to 5 minutes on the wrist, and you should be nice and warm and ready to jump into your handstand routine. Okay, so now we're going to dive into step 1 of learning the handstand. What I consider probably the most important step. Let me get this out of the way. So now we're going to dive into part 1 of learning the handstand. What I consider probably the most important part 1, because this is where you're going to build your foundation. This is where everything is going to be set on, because a lot of you guys might go out there and just start doing some, you say, okay, I want to learn a handstand, so you just jump on the floor and you start doing a bunch of kick-ups and nothing is working, or maybe you might get lucky and hold it for a few seconds, but it's not consistent. So what I try to do is build a foundation for anything that I do when it comes to learning any particular move. No move will be consistent without a foundation, so this is why I consider part 1 the most important, which is the frog stand. So, frog stand looks like this. First thing you do is you get your hands down on the floor. So, not too far out in front of you. You'll take your knees, make sure you get them around your elbows. You want to have your legs resting on the outside of your arms, just like a frog. Then, what you're going to do is simply lean forward. And you'll notice your feet will start to slide back as you get them ready to leave the floor. And hold. So eventually you want to get it to the point to where your feet are off the ground. Some of you might get to this point and it's already hard. So just hold that position. So you don't want to rush through these things. Like everything takes progression. So if this is where you can hold, then stay here. But eventually you want to get to leaning all the way forward and getting your feet off the ground. And then holding. Okay, this is the frog stand. So this is the starting move. This is the starting point for anybody. This is where I started when I was learning the handstand. So the frog has very many variations. So this was variation 1, right? This is the first one. Then eventually you want to get to getting here, where you're standing all the way straight. Then you'll progress again, getting one leg outside, then the other leg outside. Then you can do some touches. So those are different variations. More or less it comes down to being comfortable with being on your wrist, developing the strength in your shoulders, and getting comfortable with just being in the frog. So each progression, I want you to be able to do at least 30 seconds, three sets of 30 seconds of any progression that you choose. So if your progression is here, then I want you to do 30 seconds of this. And if your progression is the next step, with your feet off the floor, 30 seconds. And get to there. 3 sets of 30 seconds, so not just one time, because like I said, you need to build consistency. So at the minimum, 3 sets of 30 seconds. Then again, 3 sets of 30 seconds with your arms all the way straight. Okay? 3 sets of 30 seconds with sliding one knee out and getting it on your elbow. The next one is getting both knees on the elbows. Again, 30 seconds. And then the last one is just freestyle. So when you've made it to the last step, you should be able to bounce through all of these progressions with ease. And that's the frog. So again, go through each one and be able to do 30 seconds, 3 sets, and that's it. This is part 1 of the handstand tutorial. I'll see you guys again for the next part.